Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is the Living World of Darkness, the Rage Across New York venue. Today we find ourselves on a sunny Friday afternoon in the Sept of the Green. Sun is out. It's a little bit hot, so most of the residents of the Sept of the Green that aren't busy are probably enjoying either air conditioning or shade of some type or another. So the salt porch is currently occupied by Balian Predator's Focus Kraus. He's sitting in his newly created rocking chair that his kinfolk just got done making for him from the timbers of the crucifixion cross that was recently dismantled. He has a cart sitting beside him, and he is currently waiting for someone to arrive. He earlier made an invitation to the ranking Silverfang on Sept to join him for tea today, as he had some things he wanted to discuss with him.
Yes, Jacob is as punctual as always. You see him coming down the path where there's probably a path or dirt path or something where the salt porch is next to, and it seemed with that person that the gossip halls are constantly whispering about, and you see him kiss that person goodbye and all such things, and begins heading down the path towards you in fairly casual attire. Looks like it's a day off for him. Seems a bit more chipper and energetic than he normally is.
And as you arrive at the Silverfang salt porch, Balian will stand and then go to one knee and turn his head to the side, offering his neck in proper respect to the ranking Silverfang on Sept. Good afternoon, cousin. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Oh. It's a pleasure as always, Balian, and he'll motion for you to rise.
He'll stand up and then offer his hand.
Jacob will take his hand and shake it.
Okay. Balian will then return the handshake vigorously and then gesture to two kinfolk, snapping his fingers, and cups of, instead of hot tea, actually, there's iced tea today, as it is extremely hot. And so it's been taken into account. Balian kind of raises an eyebrow and then just simply nods his acceptance of the change of menu according to the temperature of the day. And then we'll gesture towards another chair on the porch. Please, sit.
Of course. Jacob will cordially take a seat and take a sip from his iced tea.
We haven't had a chance to talk in quite some time.
No, not since, well, darker times.
How stands things within the Striders of Ice and Concrete?
We've recovered quite nicely from when Eric left.
Bad business. But packs lose and gain, lose and gain.
If nothing else, I suppose it turned into an opportunity for me.
Oh?
I'm currently the PAX beta.
It appears to be a trend. He smiles.
Currently looking for a Fiurge, although there seems to be a rather depressing shortage of those.
Fiurge. See, I'm kind of considering. Yes, I can't think of any that are currently well. There's one that's unaligned, but you kind of side eyes a little bit. It's a glass walker.
Felix?
Yes.
Hmm.
He is unaligned.
He's been around for quite some time on this sept, and he's yet to join a pack. It's quite strange. Normally, newcomers often jump at the opportunity. I know this new Silent Strider was asking around.
He is a full moon, though, yes?
Hmm.
Perhaps he will start his own pack.
Perhaps. Oh, sorry.
That's right.
I do feel inclined to warn you, though. For whatever reason, he appears to have something of a grudge against Silverfangs.
He smiles slightly. As I have come to
understand, only that he does.
He kind of nods. As I've come to understand, especially on this sept, it would be more surprising to me had he not.
If nothing else, he appears capable of reason. He still submitted to me and all.
At least he knows proper propriety.
So long as he can keep his attitudes to himself, I don't really mind. The tenor, though, is more interesting. I met her when she first came to the set.
I've yet to meet her. However, she is a listening moon, yes?
First meeting, so I'm not sure how to gauge her yet.
I thought
She seems to. Oh.
I thought I had heard that in her introduction.
She came here with some kin. She seems to pride herself on being approachable.
Perhaps that's an avenue that you could pursue. The Striders of Ice and Concrete are one of the more traditional leaders of this sept. To have them lacking in manpower is not good for the sept by any means.
It is unfortunate. But we make do with what we have.
Indeed.
How about yourself? Head of strike, Seekers had quite an interesting adventure recently with your new Ragabash.
Do you mean when we obtained the favor of our totem, the Honorable Dana, and had to travel to Pangea?
Yes.
Yes. He nods. I'd never been to Pangea before. It's an interesting place. Very feral. Very, how do we say, unpleasant. He smiles.
I know of several others who've been there, but I've never actually gone myself.
It was very, very primitive. The hominids that we met there, the humans that we met there, were something likened back to the Stone Age, very primitive in their speech and mannerisms, dress, etc. they took to our Omega readily due to her, he kind of gestures in the air beside his head to indicate her antlers, her affinities as stag. It seemed to have some sort of a significance to them.
Hmm. Well, I suppose it makes sense. The world was far more superstitious back in those days. Although,
Indeed.
considering we know the reality of the situation, that would only be logical.
Yes, yes. But yes, we were able to obtain the favor of the totem Dana. She now graces our pack with knowledge and enlightenment in many different areas. She also allows us to, at times, reference memories from the past, which can sometimes lead and sometimes deceive. It's very interesting to delve into that river and try to determine what is truth and what is only a piece of truth. It's very interesting. But soon, however, we shall, once proper chiminage has been paid to honor his former pack, our Ragabash will be with us fully and blessed by Dana as well. He still has, and he kind of looks over at his watch. It looks to be half a moon cycle, roughly.
Ah, yes. I'd expected there would have been some strings attached regarding his departure from Otter's pack.
Yes, yes. We all make mistakes when we're young, do silly things. Joining a pack of pure tribes and Child of Gaia was probably not his best decision, especially at the time. However, at the time, it was the only pack really available to him. So he kind of has two hands and he's kind of, palms up, like he's weighing scales a little bit, and he kind of shrugs.
I did find it odd when he initially joined. It didn't seem like a pack that would have suited him. Would have been impressive, however, if he managed to make it work, but to your pack, then all the better for everyone else.
True. But we came a little bit later, and he determined that he felt more at home, more like family amongst those that shared his upbringing, that shared his familial views. And so proper chiminage was presented and is in the process of being performed, and at its conclusion he will join our pack and return home to his proper family. The experiment was an experiment. No harm was really done. At least to nothing really important.
As you say, so long as procedures followed and no one's harmed, it's not a problem. I did hear about. I did get your letter, by the way, regarding William.
Sad circumstance.
I'll be looking into that of the other Philodoxes, most likely. I'm not sure if the Truth Catcher's gotten involved yet.
He has. He met with both William and Aiden already and had a chat with them. However, I believe he still wishes to chat with the rest of the Philodoxes. I have, and he kind of gestures to his chest, I have removed myself from it, obviously, for obvious reasons, as one of the persons involved is a member of my pack and a member of my family. So my voice will not be removed.
Hmm.
However, as I stated in the letter that I sent to you, I have full faith in your voice in the absence of mine.
I'll make sure the scales are balanced accordingly. I've been trying to make it a precedent for those that attack other Garu outside of challenges to be punished. Outside of actual training and sparring, of course. Which this was.
Of course. Of course. However,
It has been a problem around this sept recently.
he kind of raises his head. Really? I hadn't heard of another attack outside of challenge.
Oh, there was. I believe the issue is being resolved by the pack's respective alphas, but there was an incident with Seisha and Talate Heen at one point.
Interesting.
But the alphas are dealing with that themselves, and it wasn't nearly as serious an incident.
There is much work for those of the half moon in this set. When you take these many different philosophies and mold them together and try to force them to work together, there's bound to be friction. There's bound to be pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that just don't fit. Which is unfortunate. That's why our usual tradition has always been to make most septs all of one pack or another, all of one tribe or another, with small exceptions. This being one of the exceptions, which makes it both interesting and at times extremely frustrating. And he smiles.
Yes. I can definitely empathize. Although I definitely see the strength in diversity.
Absolutely. The melding of different styles and philosophies is one of the strengths of this set. However, it is also, at times, one of its greatest weaknesses. So, as half moons, we obviously need to try to emphasize the strength and minimize the weakness wherever we can.
Jacob nods, sips from his iced tea.
But I believe may have something a bit more formal to speak to you about. However, I don't want to interrupt your iced tea. He kind of just gestures towards the glass.
Oh no, by all means.
And with that, he'll stand and rise to his feet and kind of take on almost a noble stature and stand very formally. And he'll smile slightly. I, Balian Predators Focus Kraus, born on two legs, under a half moon, child of Falcon, House Gleaming Eye, to challenge you, Jacob Clay, for the rank of Foster of the nation.
Jacob, his head tilts slightly, looking pleasantly surprised. I was wondering when this would happen.
He doesn't relax, but he kind of he brings his eyes down from where he was kind of staring over Jacob's head, trying to be as formal as possible, and kind of brings him down to Jacob's chest. The spirits have seen in their infinite wisdom to award me with the renown needed to perhaps raise in rank. I could think of no one else other than the eldest Silverfang on Sept that I would rather challenge.
Oh, I'm glad that you think so. And Jacob will, he kind of ends up like standing, but almost navel gazing for a moment. Okay. I believe I can give you a task, an appropriate test, to see if you're worthy of your potential new rank.
Alien simply nods in response.
As we discussed earlier on this set, has a great many diverse guru and kinfolk alike. Its ability to work together is its greatest strength, and when it falls apart, its greatest weakness. And as you stated, it's our duty to make sure everyone's working together. As a member of your tribe, and I'd like to think friendly acquaintance, I'd like to think we work together quite well. But there are other people who perhaps don't hold us in the same regard, or yourself.
Balian nods in response.
Oh, I think I'm back. I think I'm back now. This happens for some reason when I do Hangouts now.
You okay?
Yeah, I just randomly disconnect, only specifically during Hangouts.
It's been happening with multiple people in multiple Hangouts, so you're not the only one. I think last night I dropped like 3 times during our scene, and our scene was only like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I had a 49-minute scene in Odessa, and I dropped out like 5 times. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah. Jacob says,
okay,
it'd be fairly easy to prove to me that you'd be worthy of the rank, but that's not the task of a Philodox or a Silverfang. It's to rally the entire nation. So I would set the task to you to. I hate my life.
So you would, last thing you said was, I would set the task to you, and then I lost you.
Literally, yeah. I would set the task to you to convince to William White that you're worthy of the rank, to convince to him that you're worthy of the rank of Foster. Now, I'm going to make sure he gives you a fair shake, of course. I'm just going to have him dismiss you out of hand. I'll have a quick chat with him beforehand to actually bother hearing you out. Because rage sometimes causes us to do foolish things.
Indeed.
But it will be your task to convince him to flare under your banner, as it were, and to explain to him and convince him why you should have this rank as his equal.
Interesting. All right.
Because obviously his ideology very much flies in the face of your own, but at the end of the day, we'll have to work together. And you need to show that you can make that happen.
He nods. It's an interesting challenge.
Well, if I didn't set it to you now, you'd definitely be facing it later on in your career.
Indeed. So you said that you were going to speak to him first, or?
I would just have a quick chat so that he'd be willing to hear you out. And treat your word in good faith, as it were.
All right. Then I will await your message that he is ready to speak with me.
I did consider several other figures for this challenge, but I have a feeling they might take the opportunity to play a game of some sort, which I don't find appropriate. William, if nothing else, is not interested in playing games when it comes to situations like these.
Yes, I dare say I probably should. He kind of flexes his hands, start hitting the bag. I see that most of his arguments and philosophical debates end in fights instead of fists, instead of philosophical approaches. However, we shall see if I can perhaps show him even the merits of words over fisticuffs.
It will be necessary that you do.
Fair enough. And he will nod and will extend his hand. Thank you for the challenge, Raya. Again, I will await your word that the other piece is ready to speak with me regarding this.
I'll send a message as soon as I sent the word.
He nods, and he'll go sit back down and pick up his iced tea. Well, now that the formalities are out of the way. Interesting. You see him, you can see the wheels are turning in his head so fast that you're surprised that his pupils aren't spinning in circles. Interesting. The fingers on his left hand are kind of tapping quickly on the arm of the rocking chair.
If you can convince William to follow you, you should be able to convince just about anyone to piece her aside. That last part of the sentence goes very quickly.
Well, as we would be of similar rank, it would be more convincing him to work alongside than follow. Yes?
Either or.
Truth. Fair enough. right. Well, then he'll kind of tap the armrests of his chair. I don't want to take any more of your time. Please give my respects to your pack. And I look forward to hearing from you, sir.
Thank you, and I appreciate the chat.
Absolutely. And he'll stand up and nod in a way of goodbye, and we'll walk back into the cabin. As the door closes, you'll hear him calling for his kinfolk.
And with that, as Jacob will finish the last of his teas and rise and say his farewells and such, he would take his leave, and I think we can end the scene, unless Balin has anything else, anything additional to add.
Nope. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we'll see you next time.